We're going to count us in? Or are we just going to go?
No, this is the podcast.
Yeah. Welcome to another episode of The Boys and I.
Where are we?
Which one's the I?
That's the glory of
wherever you
the
want
title.
it to be.
I know, I saw that meme online.
There's a meme?
Yeah, it's all over your guys' subreddit.
Oh, cool.
Which
We have a
one's the I?
subreddit?
Yeah, I'm making all of this up.
There are thousands and thousands of subscribers to our subreddit.
Don't lie.
I'll have to check that out.
Today, we are joined by the incomparable Ricky Hayberg from ETC. Not right.
Hold your tongue.
Sorry, I was a real close one.
And also, you're joining us. You're on our set.
No, you're joining us on our broadcast.
I'm the I.
Yeah. And Shane Shibby from
What's going on, guys?
Realm.
I'm
Is
here.
it Realm or is it Machinima Realm? I don't even know anymore.
It's technically Realm Games.
You keep saying that word.
really
Don't
pushing the machinima over here.
Yeah. What
hey.
the hell's your problem? We put years into distancing ourselves. And
Feels
here you
like
go.
we all used
in
to
one
work
fell swoop, you just
at
bring
this
it right
Strangely,
back.
you don't seem particularly distant.
You
from my
guys are
perspective.
Paula Abdul taking
know.
2 steps forward, and I'm DJ Scat Cat bringing you 1 step back.
You scat cat. All right.
Well, yeah, we wanted to talk to you guys today to have you on the podcast, on the talk show, because you guys are running your own successful channels now, and you're full-time YouTubers.
Yeah.
How's that?
I mean, there's worse things you could do. Do you want me to name them?
No.
Oh.
I'd like to hear a couple, yeah.
Factory worker where you create meat products.
Yeah, that's bad.
Rubber factory.
The person that has to make sure that everyone is buckled
Rubber factory
into
might
the,
not be so bad because you could get high all day.
You get high on your
has a
meat
point.
supply, though.
the person at a theme park that has to check to make sure all the seats are buckled safely. Because it's like,
Yeah.
you kind of like just half-ass it because you're thinking, well, it's a fucking machine.
And
it'll do the
eventually
work.
something's going to happen.
Something's
and
gonna
it's
die,
be
it's
on
gonna be your
you.
fault.
It's the
Yeah.
highest pressure
Like that-
amusement park job you can have. It's the pushing 10 of amusement parks.
But it's so boring.
Yeah.
It's like the person who put that kid on the raft and then he flew off the edge or whatever.
Huck Finn?
Yes.
You're talking about Huckleberry Finn on the raft.
Yes.
What about eating all the popcorn in a theater after people leave?
Is that a job?
That's a job.
Is that a job that you had, or?
I think someone. I think your old manager was fucking with you.
That might
Well,
not be
Shibby,
such
the
a bad
movie's
job,
out.
actually.
Time to get in there and eat all the popcorn.
I wanted to
popcorn.
talk to y'all today about
Terrible jobs.
well, sort of the subject that you introed by making fun of me for saying machinima, which is that you guys have been actively distancing yourself from the parent brand that pays you on a day-to-day basis, and I'm interested in sort of what that progression has been like for you and how you see branding, generally how you see branding on YouTube and how your audience has been reacting over the last couple of years as you've made that transition.
Well-
so that's me really poorly teeing up the topic of conversation for today.
So to get back to your point of like the job of a YouTuber, especially in a capacity where you have to come into a studio and work for a company, there's not as much like freedom of everything that people could assume. You're on a schedule, you have goals you have to meet, or at least attempt to meet, and it's stressful because you are put into a position where it's not traditional media, so you have to wear 50 different hats. And people just accept you, like they're just like, oh, well, you should be able to do that. So you have to think about, you're not just writing a script. You're writing a script. You're performing it on camera. You're
producing.
You're producing. Sometimes you're editing, or at the very least, looking over edits. You're creating the assets that go along with it. You're running social media. You're marketing. You're also answering business emails. You're structuring everything that.
But isn't that the same? Isn't that the same whether you're independent or whether you're working within a company? Or
I think when
what's different about it?
I
Exactly?
can only assume that when you're independent, there's less of a demand to constantly report back to someone that might not be requesting information or trying to get something out of you. Like a lot of the stuff that comes down is potential sales deals, and it's like, well, hey, what can you do for this? And it's like, I mean, you know what we do. I'm tired of explaining over.
Also,
and over
being
and over
here,
again.
there's more legal checkpoints that we have to
Yeah.
go through because it's our company, now Warner Brothers, and then the company we're working with. Especially with you guys, it's really stalls
Yes,
it out.
but I would say fewer legal checkpoints than we had to go through at SourceFed when we were owned by Discovery, when we couldn't use images just we found off of Google. In fact, while we were getting into a lot of trouble from our old website that had stuff like that. We had to hunt down original sources for a lot of that stuff. stuff.
Yeah.
So we had to like.
You were literally source feeding.
We were literally feeding sources.
Well, that's it's so one of the big differences between being with a company and not being with a company, and this is definitely a perspective that SourceFed really highlighted, was everybody knows when they look at SourceFed that this is owned by Discovery, and Discovery is a $1 billion company. If they thought SourceFed was owned by just some kid making $100 a month, and their photo is on there, they're not going to go make a $14,000 claim on a photo. You're dealing with a lot of legal challenges. And I think you're dealing with a lot of, it sounds like RFPs, which for those that don't know is a request for proposal. It's basically like an ad deal. If you're independent, I would assume you'd probably look at that and say, it works or it doesn't, and you'd kind of toss it off. But when you're within a company, and this is something I experienced when I was here, you have to like respond to all of them. And it's such a drain because the close rate on it, which is how many times you actually sell them, is like
less than
take more time out of your day of creating stuff.
Yeah,
and that's the thing is, to go back to, yes, a lot of, like, YouTuber in general is kind of looked at as a kind of glamorous thing, but it, for the most part, does take a lot out of anyone who's running a business. And it is kind of, it's a weird position because specifically at a company like this, we're, I guess you would say, like masters of our own domain, but kind of locked away still, where it's like, yeah, we can do and say what we want for the most part, but we do have to perform and do certain things and constantly evolve. And when that kind of thing happens, it's like, hey, do this and this and this and add on top of everything that you're doing already. And it becomes, okay, well, how much is too much, and at what point do we want to try to seek help to perform? And at that point, it becomes a budget issue. And it's like, when you're doing something independently, it's like, it's a little bit different. And I think also when you bring in the point of like the checks and balances, I mean, we had a big problem with Juke and Media a couple of years ago, of no fault of our own. It was on a bunch of old videos from ETC from like 2011 and 12, when we were experimenting on things to do. We would do like kind of a viral wrap-up kind of thing. And back then, these videos weren't owned by anyone.
And we used to do like videos of the day on both ETC
do
and
Vines of the day.
Yeah, so we would do stuff like that, and we would give credit to where they came from, because back then it was technically still like the Wild West of video content. It's like, you would reach out to someone and be like, hey, if we give you credit for this, is that cool? Yeah, it's fine, blah, 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 blah. And then they'd run some program where, so Jukin had apparently like gone back and bought the rights to a bunch of old viral stuff, and so they now owned those rights throughout the lifespan of that video. So they went retroactively to old shows that had featured that stuff, not new stuff that was
those videos were already done.
Yeah, they were like years old, and we're like, okay, now you owe us $10,000.
That's so interesting. I wonder if like legally the ownership starts at the point of acquisition or the point of upload, or what?
I think it depends on the contract the person signs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but it's an interesting. I mean, but
the pitch to them would be, we can go back and get you money for doing nothing.
I think they would still do that even if you were an independent YouTuber, though. Don't you think?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't. I mean,
I think they did do that.
Or not.
I think they got into a little bit of hot water because they were doing that with a lot of independent YouTubers, and YouTubers like started speaking up against them. It's calmed down a lot with them now, but.
So to go to what was the point that you started off with, aside from just the job itself?
Well, because you guys have been like
the distancing
yourselves over time.
Well, and that's like, so the thing is even me as a viewer, I'm not really a fan of watching a company do something. I like watching personalities, and that's the kind of stuff that I watch on YouTube. And like, we kind of just started distancing ourselves initially because we were like, well, we don't want to be something that we wouldn't ourselves watch. So that was kind of, we started developing shows that we were really interested in and not caring about what the channel was or what it should have been. And it was funny, I brought it up the other day, like we were going through like a name thing where like we got to change the name at one point.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, like one of the names was like oh god, it was like Fanatic or Popnatic or something. It was like
it didn't have any good names.
It was all bad.
No, this is for
ETC.
ETC is a great name. I think ETC is a good name.
Well, it's just bland because it doesn't really. It's ambiguous, which is great.
At that time, I had been in the process of separating similarly Happy Hour from Machinima because I didn't feel like I had any control over the total programming, even though I was kind of managing that myself because my boss at the time was relatively absent. And but would show up to just drop something really weird on the channel every night, and it was just constantly causing problems for my programming, which was doing really well. So my solution was to start running these happy hour bumpers on all the Machinima stuff. So at that time it was like Sanity Not Included and all the little cartoons and stuff that we do with different animators and like little like action films and stuff. And eventually we spun that off into its own channel. And they were really hardcore about it being called Machinima Happy Hour, but I just went and claimed Happy Hour and just kind of let it roll.
Yeah.
And by the time it really got going and had like 1 million subscribers, they were just whatever. But that like, that's also interesting because here's an instance where it brings up the question of security versus, the
creative freedom.
The creative freedom. Happy Hour was pretty much killed, you know. Despite how well Happy Hour is doing, like every single video is doing hundreds of thousands of views. Like everyone pretty much got laid off from there. And had it been a little bit more in line with the party line, whatever that was as it changed with each executive that came in, I think it might have had like a better shot at like going on forward. But it was also the kind of thing that those guys couldn't go and do on their own because
or
that
pitched
was
to brands.
Right. It's like it's a kind of the scripted narrative stuff had become at that point like kind of impossible to do and kind of continues to be, I think.
Well, and that's an inherent problem in the platform itself because I don't think anyone here would be surprised to find out that even the most popular animators on YouTube are struggling to support themselves.
Well, it's hard because look, the
And
platform.
so having a team who's aggregating this kind of stuff and paying people for
not
it
cheap
at a
to
decent
Yeah.
rate, it's nearly impossible to
And
do.
the cost keeps going up and up because it's it's entertainment.
YouTube as a
Better quality, more length.
But
yeah.
and the YouTube algorithm doesn't reward animators. It rewards vloggers, people who can upload every
Daily.
day at the same time on a regular
people
Which I kind of
schedule.
understand from YouTube's perspective.
Totally.
But, my intention here was definitely to have ETC be its own thing in the same way that Happy Hour was its own thing, and in the same way that we were putting into motion to do with Inside Gaming also. We've been talking about having them just do a gameplay channel and just having it called Inside Gaming, and the executives are kind of against that too, if you recall.
Yeah, and I think I told this story recently. We were on a trip at GDC, and that was when Adam and Bruce and James and I just sort of decided to just do it and not tell anybody. And it was very similar. Like we just made the decision to do it. We took the Machinima post. We just started taking Machinima post rolls off of our videos because
what we did on
we had to
Round
fight for that as well.
Yeah, I remember. No, I was there.
This doesn't make any sense at all. And so there was like one point where they were like, you have to start every video with dubstep and a tank. And it was just like,
Doesn't make any sense.
and there was like money falling. Like it was someone took like a bunch of After Effects templates and like mashed them together and put dubstep on it. And they're like, this has to go at the front of every video. And we're like, cool. Well, should we just like pack up now? And
I actually had made like way better, like cooler, like just slicker, more polished ones, like really short ones, in case we had to continue using them, and they would not approve them because they had this like marketing department that didn't approve anything for like a year and a half.
Which is all to say that the
Red Bull, baby.
branding has its place. Like there are times when branding makes sense. But I also think that YouTube as a platform, it's a platform of creators. It's a young platform which is populated by young viewers and young creators who don't really love corporate branding. And if they get a whiff of that something is AstroTurf, that some big company is coming in.
That's true, but it did actually make sense in the beginning. Things changed, and just as an entire organization, we didn't roll with it as quickly as we should have, because when we first started, and we kind of really did have a genuine ownership of entertainment and gaming in terms of like quality of content, consistency of content, volume of content, type of content. There's nobody else that really kind of owned those verticals the way that we did. Like every partner that we respect and admire today almost was like within the network.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
this.
that worked really well because at the time it was Machinima is gaming. If you want to be a gaming partner, you had to go to the
And it
Machinima
meant
network.
something, and people actually liked the company. People actually liked the idea of Machinima when we were doing actual Machinima, and we had a website where people doing real Machinima, the animation of video game assets, which
and
still happens, but not as much. That community had its own website and all that stuff, and we kind of we scorched the earth a little bit by terminating that website and eliminating those message boards. And
it was also the next natural progression of a generation that grew up watching G4. So when the actual live action in-house stuff was starting to kind of come out, and of course a lot of people had already worked at G4, it felt like the next natural progression. It was, oh, this YouTube thing's happening, and I can just go watch essentially the same stuff with a lot of the same people over on this website, which I think helped in the early years.
I don't think it was, there weren't the same people on camera.
No, but what I'm
sure.
saying is like it felt like
Start.
at the very least, a brother or sister network to what you were seeing on G4.
And yet from a programming perspective, we were trying to
Distance
really
yourself.
ourselves
Yeah.
from like G4 and IGN by having this like kind of attitude that I think the content still has.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I worked on X-Play, and I would argue that X-Play did have an attitude, and it's just a different kind of attitude. I think that the difference between Machinima, though, and G4, and specifically X-Play, which was their gaming show, Attack of the Show was not a gaming-specific show, although it was pop culture, is that Machinima had an editorial presence, but it was not the point of the company. The point of X-Play was to be an editorial voice and do game reviews and to have a critique on games.
I think that some people might disagree with you. You know, there was like a whole vertical when Rob Jones was there and Rob Smith and having like the Inside Gaming blog
and I'm taking that into
Inside
account.
Gaming Awards.
That was we did that. That was an initiative. We had that vertical, but it wasn't the point of the company. And it's not why primarily an audience.
It was for Avatar trailers.
It was for Avatar trailers. It's the #1 video on the channel still today.
And trailers in general.
True.
And that's something that really helped ETC early on.
Yeah.
We'd get these huge bumps every time we got an exclusive trailer because we had good relationships with production companies, which is one of the good things about being with the company.
Yeah,
is that
they get it. They know the name. It's familiar.
Like Dread was a really good example of a movie that was actually good, where we ran the trailer, and because we had it exclusively, we got a lot of subscribers that were actually valuable.
Yeah,
and I think that a lot of studios and advertisers are, especially in the last year and a half, they're looking at how off the rails some of the creators can go, and they are regretting their association with these independent creators, as opposed to when they come to a channel like ETC. Even though you guys have, again, and we'll get to this, sort of disassociated yourselves from the Machinima brand,
there's checks and balances.
There are checks and balances, and they can expect a quality product, and they know that you're not going to just absolutely
go on Fiverr and pay people to write.
There you go.
Yeah,
Felix. So I'd say,
which is funny because that's what Russia did last year. They just went on Fiverr and got a bunch of people to make this. Did you see those videos?
No.
They found like one of the YouTube videos that Russia had paid for, or a channel that Russia had paid for.
No
and
way.
it's essentially like just two foreign dudes being like, Hillary Clinton is the devil, she'll rape you all.
Jesus.
Anyways, back to the exclusive trailer bit. I mean, that was a big reason that companies did not have their own pages, and they went to Machinima because that was just something they could give the exclusive rights to, and they didn't have a Shadow of Mordor YouTube channel.
Too.
Like that, just companies didn't have their own pages yet.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
For the most part, they do at this point, though.
They do
right?
now.
I saw Rob Jones shared a tweet today. The most watched YouTube channel in every state. The #1 watched YouTube channel in the state of Idaho is Machinima.
Yeah, which like the Machinima social account
That
replied
explains
back and went, lol.
Something.
And I was like, I sent him a message and I was like, first of all, the person running that account has no idea who you are. Second of all, the methodology that they posted on their website is, we took the top 50 most viewed channels of all time and cross-checked it with Google Trends for each state, and this is what we came up with. And I was just like, cool, that's a great like assignment in a high school history class.
That is what a 16-year-old thinks is research.
Like I backtraced it, and these are the results I got.
You should see my spreadsheet.
Well, the other things are like, oh, Ellen does really well in Oklahoma. It's like, okay, what is this data? Who cares? But
I'm gonna bump those
as
numbers
far
up.
as like the distancing thing, I would say it was essential for us to grow into a channel that represented who we are and who our audience wanted to watch. And distancing ourselves from a company like Machinima was just the necessary step to be able to say, this is our content, we are writing it, we are producing it. What you see when we upload something is us. And there's no barrier between, like, there's no studio person coming over here and writing this stuff for us or telling us what to do or doing this and doing that. This is what we are, and that was the main point of distancing it. Also, they didn't have and to this day they're working to try to like change that. There was a big downfall with their brand.
If they would have gone the Rooster Teeth path and just been very exclusive about which partners they work with and really focus on the content, which is what I really had hoped that we were going to do, and it's the reason why I stayed so long, because that was my focus.
Yeah.
then it would have been mutually beneficial for everybody to really get behind the company.
Well, what I think it's really interesting
but the problem
is
was the multi-channel network element of it.
Right.
Because the multi-channel element network puts you in a place where you become the enemy no matter what. As soon as you're
the lightning rod.
As soon as your partner gets a better offer from somebody and wants to terminate their contract,
go and bash it on social media or whatever.
They can bash you on social media. You have no recourse. You have to let them go. Now a million subscribers hate you, and then it's like it happens repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly, not just to Machinima but to everybody.
Yeah.
So the association with a multi-channel network is so poisonous to original programming. You don't have a choice but to distance yourself.
When I started at the company, the first week I remember talking to a bunch of people and saying, "Wait, why aren't we a studio? Like, why don't we just start becoming a studio and we'll make shows and we can distribute some of them online and we can also sell some of them to TV networks or whatever platforms are coming out, like Netflix was just starting streaming back then." And the answer I got was, "That's all old media. We don't want to be a studio. We want to be digital only with like a distributed network of creators." What's interesting now is that as the MCN model has collapsed, and you see that through Maker and Full Screen, and
they're all
Machinima is what has got fewer. Certainly has got. I mean, at its peak had 30 or 40,000.
So yeah, we had 30 or 40,000. Now we're thinking at 10.
I agree with both of you guys. Where I was like, the thing to do is make it boutique, so you get the cream of the crop, and it's easier to manage.
But from a studio point of view, like creating O&O shows and having a studio and making things, that's kind of where the company is now. Like you guys do have a studio. You have 2 studios. You've got multiple sets. Like you are creating shows for a variety of platforms.
Damn, we're trying.
It's like so much. Like if I would have had this when I was here, I would have been making films like every week with James and those guys.
Yeah.
The value proposition is a lot higher, and like I'm not apologizing. I look. Full disclosure, I'm contracting here right now, and I'm not apologizing.
Well, yeah, we are very happy that you're here.
I'm glad to see
Cheers.
you.
I love having Joel back.
Having Joel back has changed my life.
Oh, what, for
and
better?
Actually, it's terrible now. No,
but full disclosure, like I am here, but like we can all acknowledge that like Machinima did fuck up a lot in the past, but I think that like the new direction is a little bit more compelling than what they've done, and I wouldn't be here contracting if I weren't at least somewhat on board with some of the programming and some of the initiatives that you guys are doing. The reason, I mean, I've talked about this on this show before. The reason I left Machinima wasn't for personal reasons. It was because I didn't like the fact that we were becoming a licensing and distribution network for other people's content, and they were just putting it up on the Machinima channel. I just got so frustrated about the fact that I couldn't make stuff anymore, and that our budgets were going down. That ultimately is why I personally decided to leave.
And it was frustrating watching you guys leave when you guys did, because it was network, and not like bringing up the talent we had at the studio,
right? And
really putting our arms out and embracing that, because it was just a really missed opportunity.
But it seems like there's like a good investment in the talent in the studio right now. You guys.
So just put a pin in like the whole thing with this, because I don't want to get into a loop of like talking about the missteps. At the end of the day, like some of the best talent ever online came through these doors, and at the very least learned how to perfect their craft in one way or another through the company. And the one thing that I can say still to this day is I'm happy to come here every day, because as far as we're concerned, and I know a lot of people had this problem when they were working here, but like as far as me and Elliot are concerned with ETC, I could never imagine at any other company, Maker, Full Screen, whatever, that they would just let us do exactly what we do anywhere else. It is the most freedom I've ever had at a job. There is zero oversight. We've never gotten notes on something that wasn't like handled by someone else, like a production thing. I'm talking about like a daily content, like, hey, oh, you said this, blah, blah, blah. Like, we talk shit about when a Warner Brothers movie is bad and we talk shit about it, we have never had someone come back and be like,
you gotta take that video down.
No, it's fine. Like, they're like,
you
hey,
were
it's your
explicitly
opinion.
told never to do creepy text again until the numbers exploded and it did really well.
Oh my God. Okay, so yeah, that was the one thing where we were literally sitting on the episode of Sasha Grey, and they were like, we don't want this to go up, because it's attached to our name and it's really, really disgusting. And I was like,
that's the point.
I was like, no. Well, I was like, you have to understand, and I framed it this way, which is true. Like, you have to understand that this is shining a light on how terrible people are online to each other, not just in comments, but how disgusting the world is behind closed doors.
But not in like a strident, like
and we made it funny.
Way.
We made it funny.
In a funny way.
We made it really funny, but like that. These are every text that you've ever seen on Creepy Text Theater are real text.
Was the person that told you not to run it mad because his own text was featured in it?
And his name was Harvey Weinstein.
Oh my God!
He didn't get to
just come into my room for 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
I stay here all the time. Don't embarrass me. No, but so that was one thing, and we were like, no, we're putting this up, and then it blew up, and they're like. Literally to this day, like, can you guys do more Creepy Text Theater? And it's to the point where it's like, dude, I literally grab the best from the entire year, and we make 2 episodes a year because I don't want to write the show.
Yeah, there's like a finite amount of those that you're gonna find.
And there's creepy shit out there that we find, but it's not funny or good enough or whatever.
The fact that you only do it once a year is what makes it fun. Like. Santa Steve always did really well at SourceFed, but like you couldn't do that more than once a year, like for a variety of reasons.
It's June. It's half Christmas.
Steve in July. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's interesting though what you say about being happy to come in and having that freedom and stuff. Like honestly, like if I'd have known that it would had been like that and that you'd have a place like this, like I probably would have just stayed and just thrown in my lot with ETC and been like, hey, I'm on camera now with you guys. What do you think?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't seem so bad to me. You guys get
well,
to
I mean, that's
travel
the thing is like
stuff.
now we're trying our best to expand a little bit. Like we've been nonstop bringing Nick and Phil from whatever the hell their channels
Action
are
figure.
I know that, but they have 2. They have Dankfire action figures. Then they had to change to Action Figures comics.
Primer.
They took over Primer. But we bring them on a whole bunch.
Don't try
Chloe
to revive
and Brandon,
dead channels.
We've actually we've reached out to the mentally handicapped and brought Shibby on to a lot of shows. And
it's going great, bud.
That's the thing, and me and Joel have had a lot of conversations about how we can expand in 2018 because I think that what me and Elliot do now is we've done what we can do, and we've kind of like, not perfected, I would never say that, but we have done the best we can with what we have. And if we want to continue to grow, we have to do different things.
Well, actually, I want to talk about that because there's something really interesting that you guys have been doing for the last few months. And it's having a slightly antagonistic relationship with your core audience.
Oh well, that's just because the fucking world is that's the state of the country.
I know, but a lot of people manage that a lot of different ways, right?
Like, we hate people.
Some people kind of step away from it. Some people play
fuck
both sides.
I love all those liberals on ETC.
No, we literally are like. But that's the thing is like.
You're kind of.
Listen, I'm not comparing
how much growth you can experience as long as you keep on it.
That's fine, yeah, but no, that's the thing is.
I'm not criticizing it. I'm pointing it out.
I do, but that's the thing is. Here's the thing is, that is a not to compare us to the genius that is Marshall Mathers, but there is a line in the sand, and sadly, that line has been drawn closer and closer to us in the past year, to the point where yes, we do get combative when it's something that is so blatantly egregious that a year ago, anyone that is a decent person would say that's fucked up.
It came out now so hard and fast at SourceFed that we were blindsided by it.
Yeah.
But that's the problem is like I refuse to back down to someone
touch on those topics.
But your separation from the brand, I think, allowed you to continue to be who you were.
Oh, we could never do that if we were like Machinima's Machinima Entertainment on the Machinima channel. It's like that would never happen. But that's the thing is like when you see stuff like the NFL thing with Pence, and you see the stuff with Donald Trump and all this stuff.
What a disgraceful thing for our vice president to be involved with.
I know.
So stupid.
I know. And to frame it all as supporting veterans when your fucking president called John McCain a fucking loser for getting captured.
I know.
So that's the thing is the line is constantly moving over.
So did you make a conscious decision, or did the show evolve over time?
No, it was like being gaslit for a fucking year straight.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, you guys aren't joking? Like this is really what you think about it?
I always assumed they were joking, but now I'm starting to like not be so sure.
So the problem is that like I think of it about like a like say you have like a balloon.
Yeah.
And So before it was like you squeeze it in the middle, and there's like we would consider ourselves in the middle. There's conservative and there's liberal, and you know there's different ways and ways to work both of those and be in harmony with each other. And then you have a complete side of the internet that turns anything that is left of center into being a fucking pussy, into being a cuck, into being a shill, into being a piece of shit, and then what that does is it squeezes that side down and it squeezes people over here. And the problem is that no fucking 18 to 34-year-old dude wants to be called a fucking pussy. So when you say it's like when you have the argument and it gets so deep to the point where you're literally called a cuck for even saying that maybe Donald Trump should learn how to fucking read and write.
It doesn't help that the left also squeezes itself, and so you're probably being
but that's the thing is like we don't
criticizing exactly in which way you are being liberal.
But that's the thing is like we don't identify as that. We present ourselves as this is what I think about this situation.
So would you say that
it's the audience that decides whether we're the fucking cucks or not?
Do you think
I take it in and I go, look, this is fucking stupid. And it was funny because last year we did like 3 fucking videos about how shitty of a candidate Hillary Clinton was. And then like a week later we do a video about Trump and they're like, these fucking Hillary shills are on George Soros' payroll. And it's like last week we said she's a fucking idiot.
We did like 57 anti-Donald Trump videos, and we did one about Hillary, and it got like 24 million views. So
yeah,
what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean,
That's insane.
they want what they want.
Would you like so? But the way that the show has evolved, it feels like there is no alt left. Alt left doesn't exist, but it feels like it definitely feels like a reaction to the online alt-right, like the original alt-right from 2016, not the Nazi actual alt, like shitbag Steve Bannon alt-right, like the more like early Milo alt-right.
Yeah.
And again, like, do you see yourselves in that way, but like, is that something that like you've consciously cultivated as like just as such a reaction to the shitheads online that you're just going to like serve it back?
No. Like I said, I hope this point comes across is that we've always been in the position where we want to say exactly what we think about any situation, whether it's the fact that we really didn't think Hillary was the best candidate for the Democratic Party, or that Donald Trump is a fucking moron, because I do believe that. I believe he's a heartless piece of fucking shit and a monster.
There's like 0 evidence to the contrary.
Exactly. But the problem is it's up to the people viewing it to instantly group us into whatever they have preconceived in their head. The problem is that it's not like we're going out and attacking the people who think that. It's that the world and the country has become so absurd that it's hard not to take shots at it, because I think the thing, and it started with Weekly Weird News.
Oh, I really thought it started with Tugs as a result of Gamergate.
Oh,
that's
well, yeah,
really
Tugs,
where I thought it started.
Tugs was an answer to that. I'll get to Tugs in a second, because that was a different.
I love
that
show.
Tugs is my favorite show that you guys do. I think I said.
Is it making gaming great again?
What I'll say about the thing is it started with like Weekly Weird News, is where we were like, you know what's a lot of fun? Mocking the absurdity of what goes on and what is acceptable. And it's only gotten worse every single month, day, year since we decided that that was a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And it really, not politically, but in entertainment news, came to a head last May when we decided that we would no longer do the show for Machinima. We were doing a daily show on Machinima's main channel for entertainment news. And if you look back at May, I think we ended it in June, so June, May, April, March of last year.
2016.
If you want to see like just us being like, why the fuck does anyone care about this? Look at those 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
And that is a perfect explanation as to what led us to be like, are you all fucking crazy? Because it's making us feel crazy.
Like March, April, May, June is when the world like exploded and went crazy. That's like, and we found that with SourceFed too.
When they flicked on the Large Hadron Collider for the last time, and we're all living in the upside down.
Like,
and opened up
we were trying to cover
portal to the dark dimension.
Yes.
We were trying to cover like news from like a funny, like this is exciting, and like we're like making making funny news videos, and we were trying, and then like daily there would be like a cop shooting, or daily there'd be
and
like
you're just
a
like,
riot.
what the how do we talk about this?
All of the talent are like, we are fucking comics. Like, we are not even like even if we wanted to talk about this, we're like not qualified. And I'm
this isn't on us.
Neither am I really. Like, we're not like journalism majors. Like, this is not what we really signed up for. But
I'm not the Young Turks.
There's like a mass shooting every fucking day at this point, and there was just so much bad news. It was. You felt kind of stupid making a really enthusiastic video about the trailer for Cars 3, but then it would get millions of views, and you'd be like, "What's
that was the thing is like when the Vegas shooting happened, we just put up a thing on our Twitter, and we're like, we're not doing the live show today. It seems in poor taste to talk about box office numbers right now. Like, it's stupid. But yeah, if you look at those things, it was like Red Letter Media fucking nailed it because they started doing a show that just mocked entertainment news, but we were basically getting to that point. Like, if you look at even the thumbnails and titles from videos back then, it's every other day, huge Marvel news, and it's just fucking Spider-Man going, Bleh! And it's just like, oh yeah, they shut off Spider-Man's arm from his new suit.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck? Like, you could literally see it in our eyes going,
it's a
who
screen
the
cap
fuck cares?
from a teaser for a trailer that will launch in a month.
Yeah, and I remember like, and I'll admit to this, like the fact that it was at that time we were like, man, like, oh, the new X-Men Apocalypse trailer is out. I better do a trailer breakdown. I don't fucking know anything about X-Men as far as like, I read Uncanny X-Men when I was a kid, but I don't like, I would have to sit there with fucking 15 pages of research.
That's really interesting. So you basically have come to a point where you feel like the content that you're doing is disingenuous, and in order to distance yourself from it, you have to just cover the content that is interesting to you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Which is...
When we made the full switch over from doing the show for them and into ours, we were like, listen, this is what, because everyone gets older, everyone's tastes evolve as well. So it's like, do we want our channel to be our 25-year-old selves forever? No.
Yeah.
We want to evolve because otherwise we're going to be unhappy. And you know what? Like, fuck Donald Trump, but it's fucking hilarious how bad he is.
Like constantly replace people with new 25-year-olds.
Exactly.
Just to be fair.
That's you're right, because that keeps that show exactly what it is.
If the content's not evolving, it's disingenuous.
If whoever was in charge of Machinima at that time was smart, they would have been up training like some hot young teens right underneath your nose that whole time, and then place them right into the slot that they need to monetize.
Yes. Well, no, but
which is what, you know,
the problem is too is
everyone else does. Smosh, everyone does this.
Yeah. And the other problem was we didn't think that we were evolving in a creative way. We were like, I can sit there and write 4 pages about one tweet. Like, that's not fun. I'd rather challenge myself and write a comedic 4-page script about something that actually sort of matters, even if it's tech news or like making fun of like a dude in Florida getting arrested because he accidentally choked his girlfriend because he had a massive dong. Like, that's fucking funny.
Like, so
he was acquitted, by the way, because he pulled his dick out in court.
How has your
like, sir,
like, that's fucking hilarious. A woman died, but that's still very funny that he had to pull his dick out in court.
How has your audience
show it to everyone, or like just the judge?
No, wait, no, fuck the dong.
It was a hung jury.
I mean, that did happen, Joel.
How has your audience reacted to this? Like, because you guys, so right now it seems like you're stuck at about, right. So
actually, the past 2 weeks have had subscriber growth.
What?
I think a lot of the subscribers that signed on for like the Kale era are gone.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, but that's the thing is, you're talking about the subscriber loss, which is fine. It's like we lost 20,000 subscribers over the course of 10 months, which is fine. And we're not sure if that is a Google algorithmic thing,
or if the channel's bugged,
or whatever. But that is completely fine with me because they weren't going to watch the videos anyway.
Yeah.
They were going to go in and shit talk. It's fine. The thing that weirds me out about it is that our views have maintained an average, and in fact, in the past month or two, have grown. So even though the subscribers are going down, the views are growing technically on a month-over-month, which
I think you're actually. You kind of benefit from having fewer subscribers if you have
because your ratio,
your view velocity.
If a lot of people are watching, you know, within the first 48 hours, like, you're going to do better and be more recommended.
And as
if there's a way to purge dead subscribers on
I'd love to do
within some parameters, that would be amazing.
They used to do it like
we talked about that years ago, but there was no way to do it. Apparently, we were told. I think we were told
I can't
last week that
believe
there's a secret way to do it. They can do it.
You haven't been active for 18 months. You're gone.
Yeah, you haven't signed in. You haven't watched.
There is a way to do it.
Also,
but I think you have to go to your rep and like be really tight and connected with them to
can I say just this? When our fucking we had subscriber growth, literally every single month, constant growth, never negative. September of 2016 rolls around. This is a true story.
Oh yeah.
We put out 3 negative videos about YouTube starting the demonetization thing. Back then, we were one of the only channels talking about it because it was seriously affecting us. And we blasted them 3 videos in a row. Especially there was one video where we did the entire video of like, fuck you motherfuckers. Then we went to PAX and one of the YouTube reps was there. And we were like, what the fuck is going on with this shit? Got into an argument there. This could have absolutely no connection whatsoever and probably doesn't. But
some tinfoil hat shit.
Put on your tinfoil hats. September 2016. First month in years, subscriber loss. Ever since then, subscriber loss, subscriber loss, subscriber loss. 1 year to the day, September 2017, subscriber growth.
Our channel.
There's a 12-month punishment.
12-month in YouTube.
I believe it. I believe it.
Down a little
because
12 months in YouTube jail.
Was really
in SourceFed,
Wow,
when we did the Google video, which we clearly shouldn't have done.
I thought, yeah.
Like I think we're all clear on this. It was at the peak of our popularity. We had the highest subscriber growth, the highest views, most profitable. Like everything was green. Like every meeting was like
high fives all around.
Yeah, just fucking.
Yeah, we had just come out of VidCon with we had been at VidCon with our YouTube rep, and like we partied with him. We had a good time with him.
Everything was brilliant. After that, everything just completely hit the shitter. Like part of it was it attracted an alt-right audience who was at odds with literally every other thing that we were doing, and I have to like imagine there is the possibility that there is some kind of
punishment
hand behind things that happen on YouTube, and we see this sometimes when like a YouTuber will just pop for no reason, you know, or when like a channel will just kind of fall off for no reason when it's doing really well. Like we definitely did not do well for a period after that happened.
That was in May or June, and it took us really until November, I think. So it was, I mean, it was almost 6 months of being in purgatory.
Yeah, lots of other things going on then too, but
lots of other things going on. But it took us 6 months, and then we started, and then we had like 5 months of uninterrupted growth before we got shit canned.
I mean, there's a couple of things to take into account. I don't want to use this term, but it is the one that kind of makes sense with it. Is
use it. It's just the boys' night right now.
I don't want to.
You're only talking to the boys' night.
It's basically like people, like I said with the balloon metaphor that was terrible. You have a constant radicalization of what you would perceive as normal thought into, oh, fuck these guys because they're or making fun of the Trump god. So fuck them. Instead of someone who could look at something a couple years ago and be like, oh, well, yeah, there's 2 sides to the story, that's fine, whatever. Like, now it's just like, fuck them. If they say one bad thing about Emperor Trump, fuck them.
Is that from like the Donald subreddit of just being a keyboard warrior, taking it to the meme level?
Well, it's a very strange, and I say radicalization because it's a path towards becoming alt-right, which starts with something simple, and then you fall down a rabbit hole of constant regurgitation of things that could be.
Next thing you know, you're at a pizza joint in DC.
So
things that are somewhat true, but you're only getting fed that stuff.
This is a bit of an aside, but that radicalization is purposeful.
Yeah.
There are
oh no, there's people working that behind the scenes.
That are planting those memes and phrases and kind of pushing that sort of language. And
like people get caught up online in things that essentially will never ever affect them or happen to them, but they see a regurgitation machine constantly showing them things that are happening that are negative against what they're being shown should be the right way, and they look at that and it's all they're seeing. They're like, you know what? This is like, they're onto something. And it's like, we don't do that. We don't try to guide anyone's voice aside from the fact that when something's fucking stupid, we're like, are you kidding me? Like, Like, he fucking said that he's pulling all of the resources out of Puerto Rico, but it's American territory, and they don't have electricity or clean drinking water yet. But
he gave him some paper towels, so
yeah,
they're good.
It's so stupid.
But it's like, how do you? That's what like. I hate to keep you like. That's the thing is you can't even fucking use these buzzwords anymore.
Honestly, I think that's
like gaslighting is a buzzword now. When you hear gaslighting, they're like instant fucking unsub. But it's like gaslighting is a term that represents when someone is making you feel crazy.
Like
as much as I would like to believe that Google like penalized your channel or my channel.
Oh yeah, no, it's just
it's got to be the audience thing because I can think of so many other channels that have openly criticized YouTube and Google, but the difference is. Every channel that I can think of that does that always goes, well, let's look at both sides of the story. You know, like it's not. Or what they're saying, but this is what they're saying, and who knows? You know, what do you think? Which is so cheap.
Or they pander to that kind of culture online, which is a much more active and engaged. Honestly, even if people don't consider themselves alt-right, if you look at that and how much it's permeated the space, they are active, engaged, and
well, it's like we were saying. They have a unified front.
Yes.
Like there is no.
What a turn this conversation has gone.
There's no deviation between like.
It's you're with or against.
You're in or out. You're in. You're out. You're
That's
in.
That's why
out.
YouTube also prioritizes engagement, but what do they call it? It's conflict.
This is a hot tip for anybody who is an entrepreneur on YouTube and does not have a conscience. If you pander to the right, you will be very successful right now.
Yes.
Also, diss tracks.
Yeah, diss tracks.
But that's the thing.
If you have any kind of conscience at all whatsoever, you will be incapable of doing this. I think. But it is a. But it does beat you down. Audience. For a while, and to this day sometimes, but not often. But for a while there, like we were feeling pretty low about like the response, and it's like, well. But me and Ellie would have conversations like, we're not the crazy ones here. Like, this is fucked up, right? And it's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, we need to hold our ground and be like, we're not gonna back down because a bunch of fucking shitheads are like thinking that we're on George Soros's payroll.
But you should reach out to George Soros and ask him.
Where's my fucking checks?
Where's your check?
I really do wonder how many people believe that and how many people are just joking.
It's hard to tell. It's so stupid.
As long as they preface everything as like it could be a joke, like you just can't really ever nail them.
Well, that's the thing is there's so much like we make fun of what you would consider people on the left a ton too, but it's just like that doesn't even register because it's just like, oh, but then you said this, and it's like, well, come on, like what are you doing? Like right now, it's really fun watching fucking liberals eat each other alive over this Harvey Weinstein thing. Because it's just like, you all kept this secret.
Yeah.
For the most part here, we've been talking about whether it's more advantageous to work within the confines of a company or as an independent, and also
or within the space of a topic.
Right, and relationships with your audience, and whether it's more important to consider what's right for you or what's right for your business. Right, so we've been talking about a lot of topics. Final thoughts. What would you advise people that are kind of experiencing these questions similarly online?
Do you want to run down the table, or you want to just talk to Ricky?
What do you want to do? I'd be interested in running down the table.
Go.
My advice for either creators or companies is to look really long and hard at what Rooster Teeth has been doing with their most recent channel acquisitions. It's fairly widely known, and we've talked to some of the guys who work on those channels. They are allowing the creators to retain some measure of ownership in the channels that they create, and a lot of independence. And I think that leads to really great innovative content, but you still have the umbrella of a company there to make sure that things don't go too far off the rails in terms of advertisers and QC and safety. And you also get some security in terms of financing, but you get to retain your rights. And I think that both from a creator and a company point of view, that's probably the best way to go.
I agree in the point that having a safety net financially for the creator and having a safety net for the company, basically being like, we know that they won't go off the deep end, is great. Especially like at my age, it's terrifying to think about just going off on your own. The financial instability is something that I can't even fathom right now. Like, I'm fucking 33 years old. It would be terrifying. I'll say that my advice would be, YouTube in general has always been to be yourself, and I think that you should, if you want to take a stance on something, if you're doing gameplay content, you don't need to get politics involved. If you're doing gameplay content or something that is not something that challenges your audience, then that's fine. But if you do want to do comedy, if you do want to talk about current events, if you want to have weight to your statements, you should believe what you're saying. And I think an easy way out is to pander, but I think ultimately, if you're succeeding or failing, you'll be happier with both results. If you
stay true to yourself.
Exactly. If you put in the work. And I will say that, like, when you talk about people who comment and say fucking stupid shit or call you a pussy or call you a cuck or whatever, I look at the likes and dislikes. And with something like when we did TIGs instead of tugs, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of dislikes because we fucked with people. But like, on a normal
just
thing,
actually don't get it.
Even on a normal thing, like, I look at it and it's like, okay, there's a bunch of comments of people like being dickheads, but there's 50 dislikes and 6,000 likes,
Yeah.
and the video has 150,000 views. So obviously, it's a vocal minority.
That was one of the best videos I think you guys have done all year.
Jesus, I hope not.
Jeremy,
I mean, it was written so well, and it was.
But all I did was pretend that I was writing marketing
It was
memos.
I thought it was
fantastic.
pretty amusing.
It was written, and I was there when you guys filmed it because I took a part in it.
felt like I was
Well, so-
There was no outtakes. It was
The best was
one
that
take.
I kind
Perfect.
of like mocked. I was mocking IGN with just like
Oh,
normal.
you don't say.
But like, so I was mocking them, but like taking it even further.
Yeah.
With zero opinion.
really amping it up.
But then the day after, I just happened to randomly we were at Best Buy and there was a GameStop next door. I'm like, I haven't been to GameStop in a while. Let me go to GameStop. And up on the TVs was like GameStop's gaming news. And I was like, holy shit.
It's exactly
This was
that.
pitch perfect.
Yeah.
Like, I was blissfully unaware that something that just bland even existed anymore. And that was what was so
It's like
funny
the
to
baby
me.
food of
Yeah,
gaming
it's
I was just like, holy
super green.
shit.
There's no spice on it. It's just
Jeremy, what are your
Dr.
final
Pepper's
thoughts?
too spicy.
Final thoughts.
also spice.
Well, you know, when you're considering a career in entertainment, my advice is maybe don't. You know, let it be a hobby. It's a brutal, horrible business.
You're just saying that so nobody competes with you.
Yeah.
No, it's like it's.
Draining the swamp.
I want to be honest with you. It's unlikely, right? Like the amount of people that become really successful, if you ask them how they did it, they'll give you a bunch of bullshit. But really, the answer it was a miracle.
Yeah.
You know, and if you get the opportunity to make a living doing it by any means at all, whether it's working for a company or doing it on your own, I say take it. You know, but it's going to be different for everybody. For example, you know, I'm now at an age where my cost of living is significantly higher because I have a family to support and stuff, right? It's not as easy for me to just go
Cut
like
on.
totally independent, you know. So I always have to balance, you know, risk versus reward, regardless of anything that I've accomplished previously. So, you know, sometimes life makes that decision for you. While you're young and full of promise, make that decision for yourself and just try it. You know, if you fail, you don't really have much to lose when you're young,
And don't get into a relationship until you're 25.
at least.
That's what I did. I would say make mistakes
Baby,
early
little
while
baby
you're
boy.
young.
You're such a little cute little baby boy.
Thank you, Joel. I've always really appreciated the safety net that Machinima has provided. It's been really like my first real job out of college when I was looking for a quote-unquote real
Oh, he's a
job.
baby boy.
Mom and dad think I make video games or
That's
something like
fucking
that.
scary.
I know. So I can't really imagine a world with not coming to work, and I love what I do. I love the freedom and opportunity and the variety of stuff I'm able to do.
spoon.
So something like being the head of Realm that we could have talked about, going from Machinima Realm to now Realm Games, primarily League of Legends focused, and I personally don't really care that much about MOBAs or playing League anymore. And I've been given the opportunity basically to transition off the channel to work on more prosperous things for both Machinima, Warner Brothers, stuff like that. So it's just great that things are always revolving and things are new. And I've always loved YouTube because that's also been my start with my Shibby channel of gameplay, is things move very quickly and it's never stale and every day there's something new. I'm always learning. There's always new things to try, and it's just a fun place to be in.
What do you really think? This is all corporate
No,
BS.
that's what I do. I love...
Fucking shill, you cuck.
What?
You company cuck.
No, I'd say don't do gaming content because you watch PewDiePie and you want to make YouTube money. Like, that's not a thing. It's
not going to happen.
If you want to do gaming content, it's because you bring something different to the table and people want to be there for you and not just because you're good. Like, that just doesn't fly anymore. Like, being like, watch my 50-0 PUBG, whatever. It's more about being an entertainer now, so you have to think about it that way. And definitely be multi-versed and not just YouTube, but also Twitch. I mean, just live streaming in general. If you want to go Mixer or whatever the fuck you want to do, fine.
Nobody's going with
Periscope.
I don't give a shit. But I think being you and being very genuine, don't try to copy others. For me, when I was making just content, just as Shibby prior to Machinima, was watching other people's gameplays would literally affect how I record and talk and stuff like that. So I had just, like horse blinders, when horses are racing, you can't look at what people are doing to the left or right of you or you're going to trip and fuck up. Like, you have to focus on you and what you're doing and keep going forward. And, you know, even if a horse is a little bit faster than you, like their channel is growing fast, you have to do you. And be genuine about you, or it's going to change your content. At least that's how it affected me a lot. So I don't know if there's other people out there, but
I definitely have experienced that when doing sketches. If I would watch a bunch of college humor videos or Funny or Die, I would like kind of start to write differently.
Yeah.
And it would fuck my scripts up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, bring something new to the table, but it has to be you. And I think that's what you need to do to be successful nowadays, because it's so fucking saturated. And that's not anyone's fault. It's just that's how it is now.
Yeah.
Well, it's Machinima's fault. I mean, if we hadn't started gameplay videos in 2000,
Respawn uploading 30 videos a day.
Guys, thanks. The boys and I want to thank you for coming on The Boys and I. I'm all out of beer, but Ricky, where can the fine 300 people who watch our show find you?
You can unsubscribe from us at youtube.com/ETC show.
What about you yourself?
ETC?
What about
Twitter.com, RICKYFTW. Ricky for the win.
Shane?
I am Twitter. I'm just at Shane. Or you can
Unbelievable.
just search Shibby.
That's such bullshit.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can't get Joel Rubin because of that
LA Times reporter.
LA Times reporter.
We're buds. We tweet back.
Also,
and forth.
I'm on Twitch now because the workday never ends.
And
I stream for 5 hours a night after working 8 hours
I want
a
to
day.
watch League of Legends content, but I'll be moving off that channel. Not that I do much like hosting or anything, but watch Tugs on ETC Party Time.
And a quick Tug story. It was made because Inside Gaming left, as you know.
Boo.
And we actually got pressure to do a gaming show. And we were like, hey, fuck you. You want a gaming show? And we just mocked gaming shows. And they're like, oh, this sucks. And we're like, well, as long as you hate it, we're going to keep it.
I literally thought it would be our boss at the time walking off saying this show's canceled. Like, what the fuck you guys doing?
We canceled it every episode.
Yeah.
And that was for real. Like, I thought the show was going.
The only reason it still even goes on is because when people come up to us at conventions or gaming events, they're like, hey, I love Tugs. And I'm like,
don't cancel it.
People come up, they don't come up and ever say like, hey, I love Weekly. They'll say like Creepy Text or something like that, but they're always like, dude, Tugs is so good. And it's like, all right, well, we're making this for some little shithead.
You can find us here on YouTube at youtube.com/boytalk.
Yeah, or on Twitter at The Goddamn Boys.
Which we never use. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, be sure, please, to rate us, give us a like and a rating. It helps people find our show. We don't have money to advertise who we are, and spreading it around helps us out a lot if we actually want to continue doing it. And if you like the new format, let us know too, of us, of Jeremy and I, of the boy and I.
Hey, why don't you just do a fucking Twitch show for us? We need the content.
I don't know if we can.
Why not? The Boys and I is a Twitch show?
We're super expensive.
You're getting paid nothing right now.
Yeah.
And
I'll give you $5 a week. I personally will give you $5 a week.
I'm slating it.
I thought you were trying to give me a hug.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, thanks for watching, and goodbye. I'll see you in hell.